Hello everyone, I'm Tina. I lead communications and partnerships at VentureWay, and this is our second video in the series, Pitching Effectively. In our first video, we discussed what a pitch is. In this video, I will walk you through what VentureWay looks for when we receive a pitch deck. AngelsApp, VentureWay's deal management platform, receives a lot of decks, and most of the time these decks are crammed with information or lack the elements that are important to our investor base. We at VentureWay recommend the following key elements for entrepreneurs to include in their pitch deck to deliver a compelling, comprehensive, and effective pitch. Remember, a pitch deck is simply an invitation to start a conversation, so it's crucial to include the right content. The problem. Most successful startups solve a problem. Describe the problem that your product aims to solve with a simple narrative that makes your business and sector relatable to investors and lets them learn about your goals. The solution. Explain your solution and how your startup is qualified to solve the problem. Describe your startup's unique offering to solve consumers' pain points and the moats that you have built, such as protectable tech, intangible assets, etc., that will serve as barriers to entry and make you stand out in a crowded market. Market size. This sets the stage for the future and describes the scope and scale of the problem you are trying to solve. Market size is important to investors because it signifies scalability and thus the ability to continue to grow and raise future rounds. Although it may be tempting to try and define your market as broadly as possible, being more specific will help you create a more realistic pitch. Traction. A startup's traction represents its growth or progress and indicates whether it is being adopted by its intended audience. In addition to verifying the business plan, this steady growth in data points demonstrates your team's commitment to executing the concept, allowing investors to better assess its value and their returns. Metrics that demonstrate traction may vary depending on the stage of your startup, and they don't necessarily measure an increase in metrics like user base, revenue, and profit. However, it is about the movement of those metrics which will serve as a predictor of success and investment returns for investors. Milestones and projections. In a startup's timeline or roadmap, milestones indicate key points to be achieved within a specific time frame using a percentage of the funds raised at that point. A projection is a snapshot of how the company's finances will progress based on your metrics such as revenue, expenses, profit margins, etc. Business milestones and projections enable investors to gauge your long-term viability and sustainability. Investors also get a sense of how long it will take to reach break-even. Competition. With this, you give potential investors a comprehensive picture of the competitive landscape and demonstrate how your company stands out. The investors would also like to know how you plan to respond to future disruptions in the market. To communicate your business effectively with investors, you should have a deep understanding of the market, and this is your chance to show it. Core team. Most angel investors invest in the team rather than the idea. The objective is to show how the team can build and manage the business. Any skill gaps in the founding team should be addressed here. Funding ask and its use. At this point, you should describe your funding status, how much investment you need, who is investing, and possible funding sources in the future. Your startup and team gain more credibility by being specific about your fundraising goals, since potential investors know you have researched thoroughly and know exactly how much money you need to reach your next goal.